Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this Student World webinar with Georgetown ELC. We have a few people here today to tell you all about studying and living in Washington, D.C. Feel free to ask questions during the presentation, and later our speakers will answer them. A recording of this event will also be posted to our YouTube channel, so check us out at the Student World to stay tuned for this and much more content. And with that said, let's begin. Here are Stephanie, Lazara, and Mariana from Georgetown.
Thank you so much, Juliana. We're so happy to be here to represent Georgetown University. I think we'll wait for our slides. Very good. And Lazara, you can take it away.
All right. Thank you so much all for being here today. We're really excited to be with you and to introduce to you our intensive English programs here at the English Language Center at Georgetown University. To begin, I'll introduce myself. My name is Lazara John, and I'm the program manager here at the ELC. And we're going to introduce all the details of our programs. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat box, and we will work to answer them throughout the event tonight. So thank you so much. All right, so a brief overview before we get started. I'm going to allow my colleagues to introduce themselves in a moment. We'll have a few polls to get to know all of you, and then we'll go over life in Washington, D.C., as well as the details of our intensive programs, how to apply, and the visa information. All right, so as I mentioned a moment ago, my name is Lazara. I'm the program manager here, and I'm going to let my colleagues introduce themselves. Stephanie, would you like to go first?
Thanks, Lazara. My name is Stephanie Gallup, and I'm the director of the Intensive English Programs here at Georgetown's English Language Center. I work with faculty and students, and I'm looking forward to telling you all about our programs this evening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariana Stone, and I'm the Student Services Manager for the English Language Center. I love working face-to-face with students from the beginning of their application process through the end of their studies with us to help with all manner of programming and assistance along the way. So I look forward to getting to know you better soon.
All right, thank you both so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and get to know you a little bit. First, I want to share with you the mission of Georgetown University. So the Georgetown University English Language Center promotes academic excellence in both teaching and learning, and it's guided by the university's Jesuit commitment to diversity, respect, and care for the individual person. And while you're here through your time and your studies, you will definitely be able to experience diversity, respect, and care for your individual person. This is definitely embodied by all of us, our faculty, and all the other people that we work with here in the Georgetown community. And so this is a really great place to experience a whole experience. All right, so first thing we want to know is, where are you from? The three of us, myself, Stephanie, and Mariana, are currently in the United States, and we are from the United States. So where are you guys from? If you would like to put them in the chat box and we can see where you're from, that would be great. In our programs, we have students from all over the world. We have many students from South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, all over. So you will definitely have a very diverse experience, getting to meet many different people from many different walks of life in many different countries. Okay, great. I can see a few of you answering now. We've got people from Chile and Spain, Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica. Wow. Okay, Mexico City, Guatemala. Okay, you guys are from all over, which is really great to see. Wow, this is wonderful. Okay, well, very nice to meet you all. This is really exciting. All right, so our first poll question, you should be able to answer in the polls at the bottom of your screen, but have you visited or studied in the U.S. before? The U.S. is a very big country. There's many different places to visit and see, but have any of you ever visited or studied in the U.S.? If you have not, that is totally fine. There's plenty of opportunities to come and visit, and where we are located in the Washington, D.C. area. So in our little pocket of Washington, D.C., you get to experience a little bit of all of America in our tiny little city. So it's a wonderful, diverse place. Let's see. Okay. All right, so our next question as well. How many years have you been using English? Or maybe how many years have you been studying English? A lot of our students have very diverse learning backgrounds, people who have studied for many, many years and people who have only been studying for maybe a few years. So there is definitely plenty of opportunity to grow your language skills in our programs, and we hope you are able to reach your academic goals while you're here with us. Okay, so next we're going to go over student life in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Mariana, and she's going to give you more details about this.
Thank you so much, Lazara. Wow, it's so exciting to see where all of you are from. Many of you have not visited the US before, and we would love for your first experience to be with us in Washington, D.C. As I said, I'm the Student Services Manager, and one thing I love about my role is that I get to care for the whole person of each student. So Georgetown really does care for you as a person and not just someone with a brain speaking English, but we care about all of you thriving. So we'll talk to you a few minutes about how we put that into action. Being in Washington, D.C. is very exciting because there are always fun things to do and cultural events and things to learn. Here you see students outside the White House, which is the house of our president. We took a group there earlier this month and got to tour inside. So you get to do lots of fun cultural and historic activities that help you learn more about American life in the ELC. We are steps away from many of DC's historic landmarks, museums, and major government institutions. You see here the Jefferson Memorial, and those beautiful pink flowers are the cherry blossoms that you would see if you came to study with us later in the spring. People travel from around the world to see how beautiful they are, and we love to help you encounter all of the good things happening in our city by giving you a robust calendar of social events and cultural activities to help you know good things going on and get involved, and also to become part of the community. Here you see some of our students at the U.S. Capitol. Next Friday, we'll be taking a group of students there for a tour. We take people there often, and we're very close. We're walking distance away from where all of the laws are made for our nation, and it's very exciting. We also have lots of fun recreational activities for you to care for your whole body. So you see students here kayaking on the Potomac River, and you can kayak down the river and see beautiful buildings along the way. Washington, D.C. is not only beautiful and historic, but also a thriving place for culture and a great place for food, too. We have many amazing restaurants, even right next door to our building. Our campus is currently situated near the Capitol, and we have a variety of cultures represented in our food around us. Art, music, and cultural events. Some of our students went to the Turkish festival this past weekend to learn about Turkey and enjoy delicious food and music. And really, you have the benefit of getting to know people from all around the world, inside and outside our program. People who are very friendly, and people who want to converse with you in English to help you grow. One thing that many of our students love is going to support professional athletic teams here in Washington, D.C. Only a couple of blocks away, you can go cheer on our professional basketball team, the Washington Wizards, as you see a student doing here, and the hockey team as well. We also have professional soccer or football, American football. We have baseball, any sport that you can think of. You can find a way to watch or play, and we would love to give you opportunities to do that. Also, as you know, Washington, D.C. is an exciting place to be because it is an international gathering place for world leaders. There are many dignitaries often visiting our city, and the embassies are all nearby, and it's an exciting place to find thought leaders. One thing I love about being affiliated with Georgetown is that all Georgetown students, including potentially you, are invited to hear speakers on our campus. We have many world leaders who have a positive relationship with Georgetown, and some national leaders who have spoken recently on our campus. One of my favorite parts of our city is that it is beautiful. We have access to lots of green space and natural beauty. We are ranked #1 in the US for city parks, and we will take a group hiking in one of the largest city parks in the nation in just a couple of weeks together. So if you like to bike or hike, it's a beautiful place to travel, to walk around. You can go to many national parks nearby in Maryland and Virginia as well. Thinking of housing, this is a major opportunity for you to find a place that you love. So all students are looking for something different, and we love to help students find the direction to go in by providing a comprehensive housing guide that can direct you toward apartments or neighborhoods. Some people like to live in a furnished apartment, others like to live in homestay. Others like to live in the International Student Guest House, living with other international students from around the world who are studying in different places in the city and sharing meals with them. So there are a variety of options available. There is limited on-campus housing available, and I would love to talk with you further if you're interested in studying here. I can share with you more about our housing opportunities. But DC has lots of interesting and historic neighborhoods for you to choose from. If you have any questions about student life in DC, please type them in the box. I would love to talk with you further. Thank you so much. Now, Stephanie will talk to you.
Thank you, Mariana. Okay, so now I'm going to share more details about the different intensive English programs that we have to offer at Georgetown ELC. In the intensive English program, we offer 8-week programs and 3-week programs, depending on the time that you have to study and your goals. Our 8-week programs offer entry dates at 5 times in the year: January, March, May, August, or October. You can choose to join our intensive language and culture, intensive academic, or intensive professional English programs at this time. If you don't have 8 weeks and you need something even shorter, we'd like to tell you about our 3-week programs that we offer in January and July, American Conversational English. And we have a specialized program in June, English Skills for Graduate Students, that is a short program if you are already admitted to a graduate degree program that starts in the fall. So let's learn some more about these programs. In all of our intensive English programs, our classes are small and interactive, with an average of 10 to 12 students per class. We have a variety of engaging topics in all of our courses that are based on the variety of fields, backgrounds, and interests that our students have. All of our classes are taught with integrated language skills. This means that we teach reading and writing together, listening and speaking together, and always the important grammar and vocabulary that you need for success in all of these skills. Being able to communicate and interact in English is the #1 reason that students come to study in person with us. And so in all of your classes, you will have frequent pair and group discussion. Finally, all of our courses use Canvas, Google, and other educational technology tools that are used across universities throughout the United States. Our faculty are all highly experienced, many with 20 or more years of teaching and cross-cultural experience. Faculty give students regular writing and speaking feedback on all assignments and are available to meet with you during office hours one-on-one for feedback and advising. If you'd like to learn more about our professors, please visit our blog at elc.georgetown.domains. In all of our intensive English programs, these are programs designed for full-time study, which means you are in class for 20 hours a week, plus with daily homework, assignments, and independent study. Classes begin in the morning at 9 o'clock for 2.5 hours and usually are focused on reading and writing. During the break from 11:20 to 1, there is an opportunity for independent study, but also office hours to meet with faculty, special topic workshops, and of course, a chance to eat lunch and socialize with your classmates. We return to class in the afternoon at 1 o'clock for another 2.5-hour block, usually focused on listening and speaking. After class, there is time for independent study and often social activities, as Mariana discussed earlier. So let me share a little bit more about our 8-week intensive English programs. Again, we have 5 entry dates during the year, and each 8-week session is one level of our program. So you may join us in January and stay for January, March, and May, or if you only have one session available to you, you might study for just 8 weeks. It's up to you and your personal goals. Our language and culture program is taught at 3 levels. Our academic program is taught at 4 levels, and our professional program is currently offered just at 1 level. But you can join us at any of these start dates throughout the year, and you can take 1 level in 2 different programs, 2 levels in 1 program, all together to help you meet your own unique goals. In our intensive language and culture program, this is ideal if you are interested in growing your language skills for personal reasons or job-related reasons. You'll improve your English language skills while gaining a deeper understanding of U.S. culture and how to communicate in a variety of cultural settings. You'll build confidence and vocabulary for speaking and short writing. You'll learn strategies for discussion and email or virtual communication. And you'll strengthen foundational English language skills for both academic and professional settings. This 3-level program ranges from CFR A2 to B1. This is high beginning to intermediate. All students must take the ELC placement test, but no TOEFL or IELTS score is required. If your goals are for university study, then we invite you to look at our intensive academic English program. In this program, you'll develop the academic skills you need to successfully transition into academic life at a U.S. college or university. In this program, you'll learn how to write academic summaries, essays, and research papers, to give an academic presentation, to take notes with academic reading and lectures, to participate in class discussions, and to critically analyze, evaluate, and synthesize academic sources. Students in this program also choose an elective course to sharpen skills in special topics like grammar, communication, leadership, and more. This is a 4-level program taught at CFR B1, intermediate level and higher. Again, for this program, you must take our ELC placement test, and no TOEFL or IELTS is required. Finally, we have one more program, our intensive professional English program. This is a higher level, more advanced professional program that helps you refine your English skills while understanding U.S. professional practices in business and public policy, as well as critical leadership and networking skills you need for success. You'll build confidence in professional writing and communication skills. You'll analyze case studies and organizational structures. You'll practice professional skills for interviewing, negotiation, debate, and networking. And topics will focus on leadership, public policy, business, and NGOs. This is currently only offered one level or one session for the intensive professional program, and you must have a CFER B2 high intermediate level or higher to enroll. As I mentioned earlier, many students who need more than 8 weeks may study one session in our intensive professional and another session in our intensive academic to get a full experience. However, if you are interested just in intensive professional, please note that you must have a bachelor's degree or professional work experience, in addition to a CFER B2 high intermediate level or higher. Again, no TOEFL or IELTS are required for any of our programs. So next, let me share more details about our 3-week short programs. Our American Conversational English is a very popular program available in January and in July. In this program, you have very dynamic in-person lessons that are combined with practical field trips to major DC landmarks and venues so you can practice speaking in real settings. This is ideal if your goals are to improve your English for personal reasons. This is available for all levels. And please note, this is a conversational English program, so the focus is on vocabulary, grammar, and discussion strategies. There's no writing homework or assignments, but there are many opportunities to get out and explore and practice speaking English in the DC area. Our final intensive program offering is a specialized 3-week program, English Skills for Graduate Students. This program is specially for students who have current or fall admission to a graduate program in the US, a 3-week course that starts right before the fall academic semester. In this course, in a short time, you'll improve your ability to read university-level texts, write short research papers, reports, and summaries, and to critically analyze information from text and audio sources to evaluate and make connections. You'll also strengthen your skills in listening to lectures and discussions while taking effective notes, participating in classes, group discussions, and team meetings, and delivering oral presentations. So those are all the details about our different programs, classes, and schedule. If you have questions in the questions box or in the chat about our programs, I will be happy to answer them. And then I'll turn it over now to Lazara, who will tell us all about admissions.
All right, hello again. So now I'm going to go over the admissions process for applying for our different intensive English programs. So I'm going to go over steps 1 through 2 with you, and then I will move it over to Stephanie to talk about step 5. A couple things to note: applications are reviewed 5 months prior to the start date of a session. So 5 months prior to the start date up until our deadline is about when we are reviewing applications. If you submit an application for a session more than 5 months out, then it will take a little while for us to review it. So just keep that in mind. Also, the application processing may take 1 to 2 weeks after you submit your application. This will depend on how quickly you move through these steps. So we're going to go over completing the online application, signing up for the online interview and placement test, receiving your acceptance letter and Georgetown credentials, as well as confirming your enrollment and submitting your $200 tuition deposit. Please be mindful that you must complete steps 1 through 4 in order to move to step 5, which is applying for the Form I-20. So you must do these 4 steps before doing your Form I-20. Okay, so number 1, completing the online application. You can access the application through our website. The first thing you will do is you're going to create your account on the application portal website. Then you will fill in your biographical information for the application, things like your name, your date of birth, etc. And then number 3, you're going to attach proof of high school completion, post-secondary studies, and or graduate admission, depending on the program you're applying for. On the right-hand side of our slide, there is a list of your education requirements by program. So if you are interested in applying for our intensive language and culture or intensive academic programs, then you will need to submit at least proof of high school completion or equivalent to post-secondary studies. If you're looking to apply for our intensive professional English program, then you'll need to submit proof of bachelor's degree or professional work experience. And then finally, if you're looking to apply for our English Skills for Graduate program, then you will need to submit your admission to a graduate degree program in the U.S. And also, if any of your documents that you're submitting, your proof of high school completion, proof of a bachelor's degree or work experience, or admissions to a graduate degree program in the U.S., they need to be translated to English. If it's not in English, then please provide a translated document with it. It does not have to be a professional translation. It can be a translation you have done on your own, but some sort of translation with that document if it's not already in English. And then finally, for your application, there is a $75 application fee, and then you can submit your application. So this is the first step in the admissions process. Okay, and when you apply for an intensive English program, this is what the application portal will look like. This is where you will go to sign up and create your portal, and you can fill out your application here. And this is also where you will go back to accept your admissions decision, which I'll talk about in a moment. Also, if you're applying for our American Conversational English or our English Skills for Graduate Students application, their application portal looks a little bit different. The applications for these look like this. You will click on the link for the specific term that you want to apply for, and then it will take you to a page that gives you more information, and you can click Apply Now. So for our intensive English programs, the portal looks like this, and then for our American Conversational English and English Skills for Graduate Students, the application portal looks like this. So just a slight difference. Okay, so next thing, after you've submitted your application, you're going to do an interview and a placement test. So this is an oral interview you will sign up for over Zoom. It's very short, or roughly about 5 minutes. You will meet with Stephanie, and you'll have a time to talk with her. She will get to know you and ask you a few questions. After this is completed, then we will send you information to take your online placement test. This is an ITEP placement test, about 60 minutes long, and it will cover listening, reading, vocabulary, and grammar. As Stephanie mentioned earlier, TOEFL and IELTS scores are not required for admission, and we do not use them in place of this test. We only use our language placement test, the ITEP. So these are the two things that you'll do, the interview and the placement test. Listed on the right-hand side, if you're looking to apply for language and culture, that program is best for CFR A2 or B1, which is high beginner or intermediate, low intermediate. If you're looking for academic, then the CFR level is B1+, so intermediate and up. And then if you're looking to apply for our professional program, the CFR level is B2 and up, so high, intermediate, and above. Again, TOEFL and IELTS scores are not required. You can submit them if you would like, but they are not used in our admissions process. You will do our oral interview, and then we will give you information to take your online language placement test. Okay, after you've completed the interview and the placement test, we will review these things, and then you will receive your admissions decision. This will be sent in an email, and you will come back to this page to receive your acceptance letter. You'll log in, you'll be able to see your acceptance letter, and you'll need to confirm your acceptance, confirm your enrollment, and then pay your tuition deposit. You must do these two things to move to the next step. Okay, once you've confirmed your enrollment and pay your tuition deposit, then your official Georgetown credentials will be generated. And they take a few days to be generated, so you'll need to wait a few days for those to come through. But once you've confirmed your enrollment and paid your tuition, then you'll be able to move to the next step. Okay, so a little bit about our application deadlines. So for our intensive English programs, which are language and culture, academic, and professional, we have 5 sessions throughout the year, as you can see listed here. We have 2 in the spring, 1 in the summer, and then 2 in the fall as well. If you are a student who is needing to apply for an F1 visa, your deadline to submit your application is a little bit different. It's a little bit earlier. Applying for your F1 visa can take quite some time, so you need to be sure to submit your application before or on the F1 application deadline. So for example, if you're wanting to apply for our Spring 1 2025 session and you need an F1 visa, you'll need to submit your application before November 3rd or by November 3rd. These application deadlines are hard deadlines, so be sure that you get your applications in according to these deadlines. And then a couple things about the tuition and fees. Our intensive English programs are 8 weeks long. Our tuition for a single 8-week program is $5,052. And we've also listed out the estimated living and personal expenses, as well as insurance, books, and fees, as you can see them listed there. If you are a student who is looking to apply for an F1 visa, then you will need to show proof of estimated living and personal expenses. So the total amount for a student with an F1 visa sponsorship would be around $11,000. But tuition itself to us is $5,052. Okay, and then our 3-week programs. First is our American Conversational English. We have 2 sessions in a year. We have one in the spring and then one in the summer. Same thing, if you are a student needing an F1 visa, please be mindful of the F1 visa deadline for submitting your application. So if you are interested in attending our Spring 2025 American Conversational English and you are needing an F1 visa, be sure to submit your application to us before or by November 3rd. Okay, again, these deadlines are hard deadlines, so be mindful of when you need to submit your application for the American Conversational English or one of our other programs. Here we also have listed the tuition. The tuition for the program, the 3-week program, is $1,989. And then we also have listed estimated living and personal expenses, as well as insurance, books, and fee prices. And again, if you're needing F1 student visa sponsorship, you will need to provide proof of estimated living and personal expenses, so that will look a little bit different. But tuition alone is $1,989. Okay, and then finally, our other 3-week specialized program, English Skills for Graduate Students. We only have 1 session a year. It is in the summer, and this is for students who have admissions to a graduate program in the U.S. And again, the admissions deadline, the application deadline, is May 1st, and our tuition for this 3-week program is $1,999. And the same thing, we have estimated living and personal expenses, as well as insurance, books, and fee costs. Okay. If you do have any questions about the application process, please feel free to put them into the chat and I will get to answering them. But thank you so much for listening through that. I know it's a lot of information. I'm going to pass it off now to Stephanie, who will talk you through the immigration process.
Thank you, Lazara. Okay, so we're just going to pick up from the end of the application process. As Lazara mentioned, you'll need to complete all the steps of the application before you can begin the process to apply for a Form I-20 and then apply for an F1 visa. So your first step is to confirm your enrollment and pay your tuition deposit in the application portal. After that, you'll have access to upload all required documents to apply for a Form I-20. Georgetown will issue this Form I-20 to you, and you'll use this to apply and interview for an F1 visa at a U.S. embassy or consulate. Once you receive your visa, then you'll enter the U.S. with your Form I-20 from Georgetown and your new F1 visa. We know that it takes a long time to possibly get a visa appointment, as well as to process all documents for your Form I-20. So please apply as early as possible. We don't recommend waiting until the deadline, but please apply as soon as you know that you want to come to Georgetown. If you would like to get an idea of how long it will take you to get a visa interview, we recommend that you visit this travel.state.gov website to determine the estimated visa wait times at the consulate or embassy near you. Finally, let me share a few admissions opportunities, particularly if you are interested in degree study in the United States. Georgetown University has an agreement with two local schools, the Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies and Marymount University in Virginia, just across the river from Washington, D.C. If you complete the highest level of our intensive academic program, and you complete an application to an eligible degree program at these two schools. So these degree programs may include programs of Masters of Professional Studies in Business and Management,
Hello. All right, I'm just going to pick off where Stephanie left off. Okay. So as she was saying, our current local agreements are with Georgetown University, specifically the Masters of Professional Studies degree programs, which are Business and Management, Marketing and Communications, Real Estate and Urban Planning, as well as Technology and Security. And then with the university, Marymount University, which is located in Virginia, we have an agreement with any of their undergraduate degree programs as well as their graduate degree programs. So if you are able to complete the highest level of the English Language Center's intensive academic English track and complete an application to one of the eligible degrees here, then this will help to waive your TOEFL or IELTS scores. Okay. If you are interested in something like this, you would need to contact the admissions advisor of the program, of the degree program, to inform them of your completion of our ELC program, and then they will be able to give you more information. Okay, this will help you to waive your TOEFL and IELTS requirements for your degree. Okay. All right, do we have any questions about that? If you have any questions, you can feel free to put them into the chat box. All right. All right. And then another thing, if you need to contact us and you have any further questions about any of this, you can contact us at our telephone or WhatsApp number, as well as our email address, guelc@georgetown.edu, on our website, elc.georgetown.edu. On our website, you will be able to get more information about each of our programs, and as well as access links to apply for different programs as well. Also, if you are interested in reviewing our link tree, that will also give you access to our information about our programs and links to our applications as well. Okay, so a couple of things I just want to cover again. If you are needing to apply to any of our programs, you can submit your applications through our website under the program name. Under the how to apply, there will be links to take you to the applications where you can fill out your information, pay your application fee, and then submit your application and start the admissions process. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. All right. Okay. All right. Another question. Yeah, so we do have two 3-week courses. Just to recap, we have a 3-week American Conversational English and a specialized 3-week course for students who have admissions to a graduate degree program in the U.S. that is English Skills for Graduate Students. And then we have our intensive academic English, intensive language and culture, and intensive professional English. These are our 8-week programs that we offer, and there are 5 sessions throughout the year for those. So there's multiple times to submit your application and multiple different opportunities to apply. Right.
And I'd like to add to that, Lazara. Thank you. So many of our students want to study beyond 8 weeks. So they will study for 20 hours a week for 8 weeks in one level. And then if they make academic progress, they will move to the next level. And they can continue on through the whole program that way. It's it's a really wonderful way for students to meet their personal language goals. So let us know if you have other questions.
We have a question here from the chat, just came in. Alfredo says, I'm in the process of renewing my tourist visa, so I have to do a separate procedure to obtain a student visa.
Yes, that is correct. So it does need to be a different visa to be able to study. And we do have immigration specialists affiliated with the university that could answer that question more thoroughly. So I will put the email address here for you. If you have more specific questions about immigration that we don't answer fully, then we can answer those by consulting our advisors.
Thank you so much, Mariana. All right, are there any other questions? We covered a lot this evening. We've gone over student life, housing, the application process, visa process, as well as different partnerships that we have with other programs. If you have any more questions in the moment, you can go ahead and type them in the chat box. If not, you can always contact us at one of these means here. Telephone and WhatsApp is a great way, but email is also very accessible as well. We love getting inquiries from all of you and getting to know you and helping you through the application process. We know it can be complicated and maybe difficult to understand, but if you have any questions, we're more than happy to help you. Again, our WhatsApp and telephone number is listed here. Our email address, guelc@georgetown.edu. As well as our website. Our website gives a lot of information about what we talked about today, as well as there are links on our website and in our link tree here that will allow you to access the application portals and fill out your applications and submit them. Okay.
I'd love to answer a question we just got. So Monica asked, if you want to study for more weeks, is it possible, and in which program? Yes, it is very possible. Many of our students study for one session. In fact, this past session, many students came thinking they would study for one session and return for their other universities or their jobs, but they found it to be so beneficial for them that they changed their plans and they decided to stay and to do the next level. So we're very thankful students have been pleased with their study enough to stay longer. If you want to do this, you may with intensive English programs. So any of those programs, American Conversational English, some students choose to do another session after that, but they transition into intensive English programs. So that takes a little bit of different application process, but students do it and are very happy with the ability to stay and study more. If you want to study English skills for graduate students, this is a bit different because it requires that you have already gained admission to a university for a graduate program. And so students who come for this program will just stay for this program and then move forward in their study in their specialized field. Yes, thank you for that excellent question, Monica. Any other questions tonight? I know someone asked earlier in the chat about the cost of living in Washington, D.C., and that varies depending on where you want to live and what kind of housing you want. Living in a big city is generally expensive, but some students who want to save money have found ways to do so by living in the dormitory, in the on-campus housing, or living in a shared residence, so sharing a room with someone, homestay, or even, like I said, the International Student House. There are options for those who want to save money, or there are options for those who want to live in luxury. There are many very beautiful places to live here, and we would love to help you see all of the options available. Any other questions? Alfredo, do I help manage student accommodation? So I am able to help advise on student housing options, but it is ultimately the student's responsibility to secure housing. So it is not something that our department handles directly, but we talk with students, we give them lots of resources, and we want to help make sure every student has a positive housing experience.
Thank you so much, Mariana, for explaining all of that. And students who are incoming, if I understand correctly, are given a housing guide, which will have all of those resources that Mariana has been speaking of. So they'll be able to have that and keep it as a reference as you look for your housing, whether it's in a dorm or in an international student housing or a homestay or something else along those lines. But yeah, the resources that are given to you are given to you in plenty of time to find what you need for your accommodations.
Thank you, Lazara. I just noticed Monica's question about the F1 visa and the possibility to work. We advise students to not work, to not seek employment if they are on a student visa. This is not advised for immigration purposes, so it is not an option to find a job here while on an F1 visa. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And if you do have more questions about your F1 visa process and how it works and what it looks like for you and your situation, I would highly recommend that you email us, and one of our immigration colleagues will be able to give you lots of good information about what that will look like. All right. Thank you all so much for all of your questions. These have been very helpful, I think, for other listeners, and we're very pleased to be able to answer them all for you. Are there any last questions about maybe housing or life in Washington, D.C., or the application process, or maybe visa information, or our partnerships, or deadlines, things of that nature? If you have any last questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box or the questions section. I would be happy to answer them right now. Of course, if you don't have any questions at the moment, that's totally fine. We're definitely accessible. You can give us a call or WhatsApp message us or email us, and we'll be able to answer your questions as they come, in the next days and weeks and even months. But thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate getting to meet with all of you and seeing all of you here tonight. This is wonderful. Right, I'll just give it a couple more minutes, see if there's any last questions to come through. So if you have any more thoughts you want to share, please feel free to share them now. Okay, so someone asked, Alex, how long does it take the application? So the application itself, when you go into the portal and you create your portal and you start filling out all your information, it shouldn't take too long. You need to have your documents ready. So if you're applying for our intensive academic program or intensive language and culture, you need to have proof of high school completion or post-secondary study completion. You'll need to submit a document with that. If the document is not in English, you'll need to submit a translation with it. It does not have to be a professional translation. If you're applying for professional English, you'll need to submit proof of a bachelor's degree or professional work experience. And then finally, if you're going to apply for our English Skills for Graduate students, you need to have proof of admission to a graduate program in the U.S. So when you go to fill out the application, be sure to have those documents ready so it's quick and easy to complete. Then you'll pay your $75 and you'll be able to submit it. Once the application is submitted, Then we'll move to our other steps, which is doing your interview for about 5 minutes. It's very short. Doing your placement test, which will give you information for, and then accepting your enrollment, confirming it, and paying your tuition deposit, your $200 tuition deposit. That process of your interview, placement test, confirming enrollment, and paying your tuition deposit can take maybe 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how quickly you move through the process. It could take a little bit longer if you were not able to complete your ITEP in a quickly manner, but generally 1 to 2 weeks. And then from that point on, you can move to applying for your Form I-20. So that's the general timeline to go from starting an application to, receiving your admissions decision and paying your $200 deposit and enrollment deposit. All right, let's see if there's any last questions. Okay, and so this recording will be shared, so you will be able to have access to it. Okay, you do not need your documents to be apostled. You would just need to provide an electronic copy of your document, and if it's not in English, provide a translation with it as well. And that can be a translation you've done on your own or from someone else who's able to translate it for you, but it does not have to be a professional one. If you submit a professional translation, that is wonderful, but it's not required. It's a really good question. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, we'll wait a couple more moments, see if anyone else has burning questions here at the end. Thank you for these good questions. These are definitely very helpful, I'm sure, for everyone who's listening in here tonight.
One thing that I love about our students, here, a photo of the document is enough for the application. I think so, yes, Lazara, as long as it is also translated.
If you have a scan of your document, that would be best, so it's very clear to see the document. It needs to be the full document, not just a portion of it. But yes, some kind of scan of the document would be best.
Thank you, Lazara. Yeah. I would love to talk to each one of you and hear your goals and what you are wanting to do with your English study. I love that our students come from diverse backgrounds with very different goals. Some want to continue in their law practice in Chile. Some want to start a degree in cybersecurity in the US. Others are doing work in the environment in Brazil. It's beautiful to see everyone's goals and whatever types of things you are interested in, or even if you don't know yet, we want to be part of your story. So thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. And we hope that we can support you as you reach for your goals. Oh yes, the exorcist staircase. It's the best. You're always a little bit out of breath when you get to the top, Alfredo. Yes, for those who don't know, there is the movie The Exorcist has a staircase that's famous that is filmed on Georgetown's historic campus. And so when we take a tour of the main campus, you will see this. And yes, it's very exciting for our horror film enthusiasts, especially around Halloween.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, okay, I think those are most of the questions. I just want to say again, thank you everyone for attending this evening. It's wonderful to get to know all of you, to listen to your questions and share about our programs and what we do. So we do hope to be able to talk to you in the future. Reach out to us, please, if you do have any questions, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of you in our upcoming sessions. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely night.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Lazara. And everyone, just a reminder, you will be able to see this session in the Student World YouTube channel. So you can go and review that. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you.